Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Gab Street. If you heard episode 67 with Skulls for Grenades, you may have noticed the audio was a bit different. This is due to some technical difficulties with recording we've been having lately. The same thing happened with this episode, so there are going to be a couple of odd jumps here and there. You will hear some new music from our very own Evan Swiatecki when that happens. Thank you for understanding, and we hope you enjoy this interview with Columbus comedian Amber Falter. You're listening to the Gab Street Podcast, Columbus, Ohio's #1 podcast for underground talent. Every week we have new conversations with interesting individuals who contribute to the Columbus economy and its lively culture. You may find just what you're looking for right in your backyard. Let's get right into it. I was getting 30 hours a week because of like the whole federal grant money or whatever to where I was working.
Okay.
And then they were like, that changed, so you can just chill now. I'm like,
oh,
alright, cool.
That's nice, I guess. Yeah.
So I was waking up at 7 a.m. for 5 or 6 weeks, and then now this morning I woke up at 9, and it was really refreshing. It's very nice.
Wow.
So.
You're amazing. I just set an alarm for 9, and I laid there for about 50 minutes lifeless. So.
Relatable. Yeah. Kind of happened this morning, just because I could.
Yeah. Love that.
That's how it goes sometimes. Oh shit, I don't know what episode this is. They're all blending for me now. I don't even know what number it is. Isn't that crazy?
Or something?
It's like 73 or 72.
I feel like I've listened to an episode where you've said it, they're all blending together. So
it's kind of a meme on the show, a little bit. It's one of those things. But
love it.
Welcome back to episode whatever of the Gab Street podcast. Jake came back. We had him on episode 20. That episode is called Manual Viagra. You can go back and watch that one. It is very funny. He has some good stories on that one. He's come back as a co-host.
Yeah,
so we are
upgraded.
Yes, upgraded to co-host level. We're going to be excited to have him on a few more episodes here soon. And we have the wonderful Amber Falter on the podcast today. We've had this booked for like months and months and months, and I've been looking forward to it since then. So, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
We did book this so long ago.
Yeah, we did. It's been like 5 or 6 months or something. So
yeah, I think I was like drunk at a lake the other day. And you're like, so is Monday at 11? I was like, that's right. I haven't looked at my planner in a really long time because nothing's happening. Yeah. So I appreciate you reminding me because I might still be in bed.
I mean, it's kind of nice not to look at the planner sometimes. Yeah. It's been one perk of this time has been not having to worry about it as much because there's jack shit happening. So it's pretty nice. But a lot of things have been happening as a result of your work anyway, which I think is awesome. One of those things has been your Zoom comedy nights that you've done with some other very funny people in the town. Tell us about that a little bit, how that process went.
So with everything shutting down, it was I produce a lot of shows and I just like to keep really busy with stand-up anyway, so obviously you can't be on stage, and the first week I was acting like I was on vacation. I was like, oh, this is great. Forget about comedy. Can we curse, by the way?
Oh, for sure.
I have a hard time filtering that. It's like, forget about comedy. I meant to say fuck comedy. But I was like, this is so nice. But I think I immediately kind of got an itch to be back on stage or doing something and interacting with all my comedy friends. So Alexis Nelson actually works for BarkBox, and she's the first person that reached out to me about doing an online show.
Nice.
I was really nervous about it. I think I did 15 minutes of a virtual stand-up comedy, which felt real weird.
Yeah.
But we did it, and it's just like that same adrenaline rush that a lot of comedians want when they perform, and any performer really. It hit me really hard, and I was in a really good mood. I was like, oh my god, I need to keep doing this kind of thing.
That's awesome.
So it was really great. So then Columbus Goes Live happened and got to do 45 minutes. It was so long. I haven't even done that in real life on stage.
Really?
I think that was my longest set I've ever done.
Wow.
I was really
That's
I was
awesome.
more nervous than any other show I'd ever done because the format is so different and you're not getting that feedback from the audience. But so from all those, I was like, well, I'm a producer, I didn't realize until all this happened how much I am a producer of comedy in Columbus. And I kind of got like really prideful, and I was like, I do put on good shows, damn it. And I'm going to keep doing it, so. Barrier, like all I had was like an ex-boyfriend's iPad, and like that, like that's old too. Video quality, so because I actually have smart friends in this town who were streaming as well, the same thing, like if you've been running a stand-up comedy show at a bar for like 10 years, you help me out. I'm trying like starting at the bottom. I was like, hey, I don't have a good microphone. What's going on with my sound? Together, their Wi-Fi sucked, but I didn't like think to tell them to like check their Wi-Fi beforehand. Story, and I'm like,
so we actually had one guy. This isn't Wi-Fi related, but I just kind of want to mention this. I think this was like one funny thing. Usually, if people come on here, we don't like let them back. And for the right, like he was coughing so hard, and he came back, and for the Sam Rothstein on here, and he was telling us about how like, oh yeah, people tell me I said shit. Do a complete 180. I'll ask you the next question here. Going back to kind of your
growing up, I was like really, really shy. Like it took me so much like sweat and concentration to even if you like did the week, and I'd be like, oh fuck, and so I'd like read it, and then like sometimes it would get a laugh, and I was like it did feel like a positive like kind of reinforcement thing, and still care about a lot like soil science, very weird, but love dirt, it's very important. I quit comedy. I was like struggling a lot just kind of mentally. My mom had passed away, and then a couple shitty thing about dirt, and all these kids around me are like caring so much and like showing up for every class and like getting like jokes. And then I think in high school, a couple of my friends would drive me downtown. We'd put a case of mics and like be half drunk and like laugh at these like horrific open mics. It was like, so I kind of for them to laugh at something I said and then be like, fuck yeah, cool. But very validating, needed that. And that's good, I guess. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shy kid.
And how long is
22 or 23, so I'm 20, so about 5-6 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of time.
It's a good amount of time. My God. Oh, I should have quit earlier. No. Too long. No.
Not to plug you too hard, but he actually did his first open mic right before everything hit.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Tree bar.
Tree bar.
It was Tom
He took me
Flute's.
there.
Yeah. That's awesome. How was it?
It was. I remember it being like good for the first time.
That's awesome.
I was very proud.
But yeah, like I think it was mostly like I did it, and that's like where the like that happiness came from.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting over that hump. You know?
Yeah.
That was exactly like when I was going. Even when like
I'm a part of like the comedy network.
Uh-huh.
Like as long as you try it, you are in.
Up to this point, you've probably heard some broken audio. That's okay. I'm going to do my best to splice this together, make some kind of sense. But we should be foolproof now. Should be all good to go. Let's talk about why things are funny again. No, I'm just kidding. Let's not go back to that. So, we were kind of on the topic of open mics. Actually, before I ask this question, one thing that I'm curious about with pretty much everybody's creative process, specifically with Growling Gremlins, you said that was kind of your baby, that was kind of your personal project. What were some of the bumps in the road, some of the challenges that you had to overcome with that led to you being the skilled producer that you are today?
Oh my gosh, skilled, so sweet. So I was terrified to do it. So I'd already been producing with Pat Deering, Stand Up for Choice, for a few years at this point.
Yeah.
But a couple years ago, my friend Justin Ryan, he had worked for the Daily Growler. They were opening a new location here in German Village. And he gave me this really nice push. So Growling Gremlin was my first monthly show, which to me was really scary because Stand Up for Choice is a quarterly show. I have a lot of help doing it. But this was going to be me solo. It was going to represent me and all I like saw in comedy and everyone I booked, so I really took it to heart. But a couple of the barriers, aside from me just not feeling confident or ready, the space at the Daily Growler, I mean, it's just like a bar that you sit in with tables and chairs. There's certainly no stage. I used to just bring a rug that my dog would pee on to hand. I was like, that's your stage, and then here's a microphone. You're not any higher than the audience, you know.
Like the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. I was like, this is all we got, so we're gonna do it.
Dude.
So we'd kind of manipulate the lights. So, I mean, I'd have to go in there and like I have a vision like hours before the show and like break my already shitty back by like moving around all these Amish made tables for the tap room. So I would try to make it look like a very small throw together comedy club. But once I started doing that, like it did feel like one. There was like magic in this tiny room, which I really loved and really, really proud of. Getting people to want to perform in that kind of space. You know, if I have some awesome headliner from out of town, like I Google a lot of the places I'm going to be performing in. I'm like, is that a barn? Like, ew, like, okay, whatever. So like just being like, hey, trust me kind of thing. Also, I didn't really get paid initially for that show because I wanted to prove myself. I was like, listen, I'll just make you money and I'll show you what I can do. And then, you know, just always trying to pack people in there. I don't know. It was kind of scary at first, but what was really awesome was I would be really transparent with the audience. I was like, listen, we're doing this for fun. Also, we do this for work, but we don't have anything other than that. So I would put out this little like jar and be like, if you could please like see the value of these people's times and like this space and like tip your bartender a shit ton, but also these people are like really doing a cool thing, and I hope you appreciate it. And then we'd get like hella tips, and I got to pay these people really well. And like also just I would reiterate like how much it means when you walk up and you give somebody a compliment or follow their Instagram and like continue to support them in whatever way after that night. And I just loved really making that connection with the audience and stuff. So I think it was difficult to like find how to define how Amber would produce a show. Like like the first year I didn't have a ton of like female or marginalized headliners. There's tons of dudes that are headliners and hey Amber, this guy's a headliner, you should book this guy headliner. So like after my first year, like I was like, I'm a fucking woman, I know how hard it is to get booked. And I'm gonna change that. So my second year, the entire year, I just tried to book female headliners. It wasn't hard. You know, it's not fucking hard. People are like, I just don't know that many. They're there. They're just not getting booked as headliners, so they're not saying and screaming on the top of the rooftops that they are headliners. And sometimes, you know, I would just invite somebody who I knew was a strong comic, and I'd be like, I bet you got 30 minutes and you have fucking fun. So that was a fun way to like refine, and so it was kind of a, just like a learning process, but I feel like I learned a lot, so it was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bettina Hedwig was the comedian that went before Mike Myers.
Yeah.
But after Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When we went. Yeah. When Cory and I saw you. Yeah.
Yeah. So another cool thing about that was I had the monthly show, but then people loved it so much. The audience wanted more. And then, like, a lot of other people. So Mike Myers, that's like a one-off. So that was cool because I was like, well, Growlin' Gremlin, like, I'm going to put, my female headliners on as much as possible. And then, like, if there's, like, somebody that I know is a good headliner and there's going to be people there anyway, like, Michael Myers, I love that guy, so I threw him.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he's
so good.
He's great. So, got to throw something last minute together for them, and again, really lucky that venue is like not like a booked comedy club all the time. It's just like a place where like middle-aged men go to like drink flights and stare at each other and hate their wives. And so they had some free nights, which was cool. So I was like, let me do a show. They're like, yeah, that'd be cool. So
nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm curious because I haven't been to that many comedy shows in Columbus yet, due to the circumstances. But I'm curious as to how often hecklers like that night happen, where like the woman on the side was like, "Is this weird?" Like, and he would bring it up constantly. I think he handled that very well. Yeah,
extremely. I'm glad you noticed that. So typically, I feel really lucky because I feel like a lot of the people that come to my shows, Growlin' Gremlin especially, I was like, it's so mean if you do that. Like, seriously, shut up. Like, you see what we're doing. Like, please. And, like, I think maybe once or twice in 2 years I had to walk up to somebody and be like, you really gotta shut your fucking mouth.
Really?
But like that was, yeah, and like
That's
I think
not bad, though.
I think just being honest with people, I was like, this is so disrespectful. And like I think there was one guy, like maybe 4 months in, he was in the back and he was like just chatting and like he wasn't there for the show, and I was like, there's a whole fucking bar downstairs, you don't have to be up here. No one asked you to come up here. In fact, I'm gonna ask you to go downstairs again. You're pissing me off. And like, guess what? He's not gonna come back to that show, and that's awesome. I never want to see his face again. And I hope one day somebody invites him to a real comedy club where they physically remove you from the entire place, and then he just never is an audience member again. It's like, if you're not there for it, if you truly like can't wrap your head around it, and like with any kind of art form or even concerts, like you can scream and shout at those things, but like if there's like a slow song that's acoustic and you're gonna sit there and be like, fuck you, like get out of here, like no one wants you. So yeah, I've been really lucky. I think with hosting is like really scary, and I've learned so much from it, but you just be like super real with like your audience and tell them what you need from them, and especially with like donations and stuff, just be totally transparent. I'm like, this person drove 3 hours from Indianapolis. They're gonna go back tonight. They're gonna want some Arby's on the way home. Like they're gonna need some gas. Like just like give them $5. Like that's all I'm asking. If you have it, if you don't, follow their Instagram. That means a lot too. So I don't know, but hecklers, get them out of here.
Yeah, like Tree Bar was actually like kind of surprising that there weren't any hecklers even earlier in the show. Just one guy. Well, the guy that had talked about the honkers.
Sounds like a great person to have an audience.
And then talking about the big bearded dude.
The big bearded dude, I don't think he heckled. I think he was just like walking around, kind of like.
Wait, I know who you're referring to. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there's that guy.
Was it a stray dog? I don't know.
Or he's like this guy, the big bearded dude, would like walk around like finding his victims and talk about how like his mom puts gummy worms in his birthday cake. And it's like, I think I think she just wants you to move out, dude. I think that's the main reason.
Oh my
god. But like, do you remember that?
So was he a comedian?
No, he was just kind of like
Did he forget to sign up? He sounds hilarious. I know.
I think he was a regular that's kind of always there, and I think he kind of gets kicked out all the time.
And the interesting thing was that he came up to us and he was like, I'm not shaking hands because all this virus stuff, and it's like, I didn't expect that from you. Like, you would expect you to be, like, very unsanitary, whatever. But that was...
Yeah, you look like you're walking around spitting in people's mouths. Yeah. It's fun, because you don't believe it. Yeah. Jeez. He sounds like a party.
Yeah, he was, like, kind of kind of benign, because he would just grumble a little bit, but not in a mean way. He would just kind of, like...
I'm still pretty sure that was a dog. I'm not convinced it wasn't.
St. Bernard or something.
I could tell that he's kind of regularly thrown out, because the bartender was like, all right, you're done. Like,
yeah, that's great.
And he was... Would you say that's like the most Irish man you've ever seen in America?
Yeah,
like he was like the bartender at a
just
a
the
tree
little
bar.
this little bartender guy, and just like,
all right, you're done. Get out of here, bloody. You know, but
I love that.
That was such a great show, though.
Yeah,
and
with open mics, it's like. So for like me, I'm like, I put this show on, I promoted it, somebody did artwork, like, this is real, damn it, shut up. But like at an open mic, it's like, I wrote this set list 5 minutes ago, I'm high. Like, you should be yelling at me, like, you're right, none of us should be on stage with a microphone, like, this isn't fucking worth, but yeah, I mean, that's what's hard for like an open, running an open mic sounds like a fucking nightmare, so hats off to everyone who does it, but like, just to be like, seriously, give these people respect. It's like, it's a Tuesday. Like, let's all relax.
Yeah, it was a Thursday when we went. Yeah, it's just kind of like that's just kind of a day. Yeah. That's not a weekend. Yeah. So, No, but it's so hard to keep an audience watching an open mic, and sometimes they can be so rad, but like, doing that sounds hard. High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. So now that we're talking about venues in particular, in your educated opinion, where are some of the best places to see comedy in Columbus?
Oof. Okay. Let's see. So I think I'm gonna probably go backwards in my head, in terms of newer stuff that can go back. So Christine Horvath does a really great job. I haven't been to one yet, but I wanted to be on one and go to one. I've been more and more interested in these underground places that you're like, what? There's comedy there? So that's always super fun for me. So with Growlin' Gremlin, I felt really lucky because like sometimes like somebody like let's say you try a show and then you and the bar don't get along, so you quit, and then you jump in and you start putting on a show there instead. You get to brand it differently, but let's think about the audience. Maybe the audience that went to Cory's show was like, dude, honestly, like, it was alright, but like I didn't have the best time, and like blah blah blah. And then you come along, you're like, no, I swear, it's like I do it differently and I book different people, but like the fact that it's the same physical location, I think it's hard to get people to go to that. So Christine Horvath, she started doing one at a nail bar where your fucking fingernails done. It's called like the Fuzz. It's right next to the tattoo shop up on Hudson.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's right next door to it, and that place is decorated like the inside of a fucking Molly ecstasy dream. It's like, it looks so cool. There's like big colors and like big floofy fucking like furry balls on the sky. I don't even know. I've only seen photos. It looks like the coolest place on earth. So she's like booked a bunch of, and she does a really great job of booking marginalized and comedians and a lot of females.
That's
but
cool.
that, oh my god, the space is cool. So I think I'm really impressed with what she does in general. Before that, she did one at Do Mama years ago.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I want to go to like an after hours like comedy bakery. What the? I'm there. There's pie and booze. I'm coming. Like I really like the people that are pushing the boundaries in that way in terms of like just like venues in general. She always does a great job. Again, Columbus Comedy Festival was supposed to happen, and I was going to be an associate producer. You were going to be a sponsor. So hopefully that comes back around. But with that being said, Nikki Winkleman, Tom Plute, Dustin Meadows was kind of like the big reason we had a comedy festival here initially. And I know Lisa Berry's involved with all that too, and has been. But this was going to be their first year on their own kind of thing, instead of it being Whiskey Bear Comedy. And there was just so many venues that were so kind to help us out, like the Franklin Playhouse. Have you ever been there? Mm-hmm. It's just like a big, weird Franklinton, empty, kick-ass space that we can manipulate in so many ways, which was really fun, at least in the previous years. None of these are like accessible right now. I feel like my brain is melting. I've always had fun at Wild Goose.
Mm-hmm. That's where we threw our anniversary party.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god, yeah. Like, so I think they've done a great job. I don't know. Like, I think I kind of miss Shadowbox, but no one's really doing anything there anymore.
Yeah. Mostly Dino Tripodis doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I really just thinking about like producers and shows that I trust going to. I guess. Fuck. Who else does stuff? It's been a while.
There was a new venue opened by #comedy on Long Street, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's mostly improv focused though, so I'm not sure if much is going to be happening. But how much do you know about it?
So I know they're I think they're delaying their opening date, which is going to be like the coolest thing ever, because it's going to be just a space that they're going to utilize for all comedy.
And that we don't have
and
that.
It's going to be basically a club. Yeah. So like when people think, you know, if I do travel, people are like, oh, like Funny Bone in Columbus, you perform there all the time, and I was like, no, I do not. You don't see me there. So I'm like, they that's what bums me out, is like the Columbus Funny Bone is not representative of the Columbus comedy scene. That's one thing I think is where I'm really proud of our scene, is like it's very independent, and just people that are running it really care and do a really great job. Olivia Smith was doing a really cute thing for a while called the Compliment Battle, because there were so many mean roast battles going on, and she was like, hey honeys, why are we doing this? We're all friends. And then so she was like pairing people up to compliment each other. It was very sweet. Cool. I think she did that at Shrunken Head, but yeah.
I feel like that would be more difficult to make funny, which makes it kind of cooler.
Yeah, right. It's like in like how can you make that entertaining for like the audience? It's definitely a challenge, and that's one of those shows where you're kind of asked to write specific material for that thing that you can never use again. But it, like in the moment, it can be really, really cool and beautiful. So I don't know. I'm just like I just wish people were like I'm excited to see what hashtag brings with all that, because I think it's really, really needed and well deserved here, and to like have a space that you can just like feel constantly comfortable in. Because working with different bars and venues, we've had so many great places, but like, you know, sometimes comedy's only going to bring 20 people, and then maybe there's like some cool rock band that's going to come through, and it's like, yeah, we get it. You need to make money, so we'll fuck off and do a free show in a backyard somewhere. We don't mind. We're used to this. But Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm always impressed with like Buckeye stand up and like I wish I saw more of them. Like personally, back in the day, I think some of my favorite shows were the Torpedo Room.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the most fun thing ever. I loved it. They just like drag in like one like club or like fraternity and like force them to watch comedy for a night. And it was a really good time. I had a great time scaring them. Yeah.
My only experience with comedy on campus so far, I think you know about this.
Yeah.
I went to Donato's Basement.
Oh, yeah.
With, it was Ass Out Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And they were, I think you might have been there, I think. But,
were they recording a podcast?
I think so.
Oh, I might have not been there.
I was one of like 5 people in the audience.
Oh, nope, I wasn't there.
Because Sam Rothstein was involved, so I got in for free. Thank you. I'm a little privileged. But because I got in free, my price was sitting in the front. And I was the material for every comedian.
Oh,
no. That's my only campus experience. So
yeah,
give me a better one. No, it's fine.
See, another interesting thing about OSU comedy stuff is the PowerPoint comedy, which is through the OSU Sundial, which I'm interested in because
the drunk PowerPoint.
Or it's like
or is this a different thing?
Drunk PowerPoint for me, like underage people. It's in quotes drunk PowerPoint, but like that's like kind of where my wheelhouse is because I get to use like some more of my writing ability to go with the PowerPoint.
Yeah, melatonin PowerPoint.
Yeah, to help with like the actual stand up, so it's less daunting. But it's also
there's a visual.
Yeah, more funny because you can kind of just like read off your PowerPoint when you are kind of lost. Yeah, and it brings you back.
That's cool.
I don't know if that's classified as like alt comedy. I don't know if there are definitions of alt comedy.
That sounds fine to me.
Or if it's like PowerPoint comedy or something. But yeah,
that's really cool.
Thing.
So is that a separate show that you guys put on then? Buckeye Stand Up does, or?
That's something that most of the members of OSU's Sundial does. Okay. Along with Buckeye Stand Up Comedy Club. So then they'll put on shows where both of those like forms of comedy will be shown.
Blend together.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I know Ryan Branch does the drunk PowerPoint, and he's taking it online now. And I like tune in for a couple. And like again, like I was telling you earlier, like I can barely like turn on. When I'm on Zoom, I'm like sideways, and I'm the host. I'm like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. Like, someone please come over. But like, I watched it, and like to just get a bunch of different people at different places, like putting on a PowerPoint. I was like, this looks like a nightmare. Like, there's no way I could do that. But it's been something that I've wanted to do. Yeah. But I don't even know if I know how to make a PowerPoint anymore. Like, I'm aging rapidly.
That becomes like part of the joke is like just poorly put together like Arial font.
If I could even get that far. Yeah. Like if I could just like put up one slide and just be like, this is all I got, and then just like do it, that'd be cool. But doing it online, there's no fucking way. I'd die. There's no way.
Is the drunk PowerPoint at Cafe Kerouac?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, typically. Now it's online. It's even harder. I wouldn't be able to get drunk for it because it barely focused to begin with. But
yeah, already having trouble with the tech.
Right.
Let's see here. So earlier we talked about your beginnings of comedy, and you said that you had some people that you kind of started to get in with at the beginning to really start to believe in yourself and being a comedian. And I wanted to know who were some of those mentors that you had at the beginning.
So before I really like started, I was working at this bar. It's no longer a place, and I will not say the name of it. It is bad. We'll tell you after the show. Okay. I like to call it when I'm on podcasts the Voldemort of bars. Don't worry, he's dead. And so I was working at this place, and I got to work with Dustin Meadows because it was his first monthly show. So I was the bartender, and he got to make his first monthly show there, and it was really cool because I, kind of pitched it to the people that owned the bar, and he was doing a great job and like bringing like nationally touring comedians through, which was really cool. And like now, like I have like girls that still follow me on Instagram, and I follow them back, but they like live in LA. They're like, oh my god, like just doing this today, LOL, me and Chappelle, and I'm like, haha, I met you, that's so cool. And I like have their t-shirts and stuff, like it just makes you feel really cool. But he brought them through, and like he did a great job. So it was cool to like watch him just produce shows that early on. And like start to understand like the frustrations of not getting a lot of people there, and like all that, and like also celebrating the successes of like a cool show. So he was really sweet, and I had to like, I'd kind of ask him how to get into it. So Dustin's always been really, really kind to me. And these are people that no longer live here, but comedians in town would know. Laura Sanders was definitely a part of that group. And also her being a female and being a very kind person, like hats off, like she does such great work. Her and Kamari Stevens were really nice to me. They moved to New Orleans together. Okay. So now they're there and they're so great. Always been grateful for like the input they gave me back then. And then still local, Travis Haywisher, who's a sweet boy, and a very outgoing guy. And could tell, like, I wanted to do it kind of thing. And I'll never forget, like, bartending there, and they're all, like, hanging out and drinking. And I said, like, one thing, and Laura was like, you should do comedy. And I was like, I'm gonna die right now. That is nice. You mean the world to me. Like, she's, like, albums and shit. She's really cool. So they were really helpful in, like, getting me on stage, kind of, and, like, giving me the confidence. But since then, people that have been consistent and so kind and just, like honestly, people that keep me not quitting comedy to this day. All my love to Christine Horvath, just her being a badass woman, producer. She just like fights so hard for like those new spaces and for things that are new. And to watch her come up with an idea over a coffee, like years ago, we sat down at a coffee shop and I was like, I think I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to call it Growlin' Gremlin. What do you think of the name? And she's like, I think I'm going to try this thing called Babe Roar. It's going to be this like platform where like you can like go there to find marginalized comedians and like really, really support women in comedy and what that looks like. So she has these t-shirts. Maria Bamford has one. It says more female headliners, designed by her partner Griffin Browning. And I'm like, those are my friends. So like, I love them. Like it's so cool. That's so awesome. Like, yeah. So like we recently got to be like, oh my God, like we got to, like we brought our dreams to fruition. Like you had Growlin' Gremlin and I have Babe Roar, and she does all those shows through Babe Roar, which is like the What the Fuzz comedy show and all that. But she's insane and very supportive, and somebody I still reach out to probably every other week with like, oh, am I doing this right, or what do you think? So she's been really great. And Angie Healy has just been like my partner in crime for a long time. We just get on the road together a lot. She just has a lot of great energy, and like me, she kind of gets like bored of her old material really quickly. So we're just kind of like so ADD, like no, we're gonna do the new thing tonight. Let's come, we're doing the new stuff. Come on, and we're just like very annoying about that. She's great. Yeah, Griffin Browning I think is brilliant too. And Nikki Winkleman is like my cool, hot, older teen sister who like takes me. No, guys, she's cool. She's coming to the party. Like that's how like Nikki makes me feel. So, and also Nikki's done like producing on a totally different level for like, she very much had a lot of theater background and stuff. Okay. And her working and producing at Shadowbox for so long was really interesting. So those are definitely a lot of the names that I love and cherish in town.
Cool.
Yeah, they're all good babes.
Was Nikki the person, the primary person who did Quizbox? Yes.
Okay. So Nikki Winkleman and Eric Tate.
Okay.
Also a super supportive babe. He's also a magician and like just been on whatever. He's cool. He's been on TV, whatever. He has like a turtle and a dog I like. But he actually went to school for comedy, which is like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And he doesn't really do a ton of like stand up now, but also to be like a magician and also be funny, like he's got it all. He's a great boy. Yeah. Nice.
Have you? This isn't even written down, but it's just coming into my mind. Do any of these people, or have you ever considered doing any writing for like shows or anything of the sort?
So it's funny because I have, and it's not even with these comedians. It's just with like some other actors and stuff in town. Yeah. And some of my friends that have a production company. It's called Film Forge. And they're really great and really talented. But we tried to write some like YouTube sketch comedy and stuff before, and like it was years ago, and like I'd like to try it again, but it's definitely like the moment I was like, yeah, we're funny. We can. It's a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare. You can
it's tough. Yeah.
Read all you want and like whatever, but like he makes such beautiful stuff like visually in terms of filming and shooting and all that. And for me, I'm like, it's comedy. It doesn't need to look this gorgeous. It's almost like how pretty it looks. It's like making the comedy look like way worse than it is. Like I'm like, make it look bad. Yeah. So I don't know, but we've tried. I mean, I have tried in a different world, and I'd like to try again, but it's totally different.
Good to know.
Ballpark for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy something that you had a hand in writing. I think that'd be really fun. We've actually dabbled in sophomore year in high school.
Yeah, we did.
We used to have a YouTube channel. So
I love that.
I'll have to send it to you afterward, but I think we talked about it a couple times. I don't want to name it by name again.
Yeah.
But, you know. Yeah.
I love that because my brother and I were talking when we were like in 4th grade through like junior high-ish. We like that's when webcams were like kind of new, you know what I mean? So like we were like we'd make little videos and like just show them to our friends because like we were like we're not putting that. I don't think we understood YouTube yet or if it was even really around. But like we were just looking back recently. We're like, oh my god, can you imagine if we had the access to YouTube and like uploading stuff that we do now? Back then we'd be fucked. Like we would have jobs. Like not that it was like terrible, but like it was just so embarrassing and like just dumb little kids like. I don't even know. I think my brother like dressed me up as Osama bin Laden once and like beat me up. Like it was just like the weirdest thing. So I was like, I'm blessed that we didn't have the access that we would have thought we were like so fucking funny. Yikes. Yeah. Keep me off the internet, I say. I barely use it anyway. I'm a fucking idiot. But
so having had that experience, I'd say you're in a good position to give advice to someone considering pursuing comedy. What is some of that advice that you might give?
Okay, so,
Number one, be funny.
No, don't. I think one thing in terms of like being that kind of shy, like truly shy person that I am at my core, which it does not seem like that online or on stage for sure, but I do like struggle with a lot of anxiety and depression, but you're not the only one that's feeling that way, no matter how someone's coming off on stage. You're not alone in those nervous feelings, and no one's truly better than you. You're just feel as vulnerable as you feel and like lean into it. My first recommendation is to always, like I did, go to a lot of open mics. Watch and watch and watch. You don't have to perform. Don't get nervous. If someone does seem like a nice person off stage, maybe introduce yourself. Maybe they might not be in the mood. I know I haven't always been in the mood to be like super kind. It's because here's the thing. When I'm at an open mic, I'm nervous. No, to this day, I'm struggling with like liking my material. I love and like appreciate my peers in terms of the comedians in the room, and I genuinely want their feedback. Like I'm on edge. It's a learning moment for me. I'm kind of at work in a way. So like sometimes like I feel really bad. There's somebody who's like, hey, that was cool, or like I'm this person and I'm kind of interested. I try so hard to give them my time of day and like please never take it personally. If I'm like, hey dude, just go and like keep watching, you're doing great. But like I wish I had more to give in that moment, but I always welcome people to reach out to me online, like to have conversations, and like somebody wants to call me actually soon and run some material by me, and I was like, you know what, I'm not doing anything. Honestly, I'm sitting at home. So give me a fucking call. So yeah, like feel it out for sure. I think just watching it and realizing, I don't know, just everyone's gonna fucking bomb. And open mics, like the audiences are gonna be different every week. There might be one stray evil dog out there who's yelling at you, but they're not on stage and they don't know how hard it is to get up there.
Yep.
Did I fucking do that? Was that my phone? Oh my god, podcast. Oh my god.
It's okay.
It's the biggest no-no on earth.
It happens.
Everyone that listens to podcasts, in their little perfect world, they know that nobody has cell phones.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. I've ruined it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think just watching it and realizing that my favorite thing, even before I get on stage for like really big shows, when I get really nervous, I tell myself that nobody has any idea that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I use that all the time. So yeah, just like, I don't know, it's mostly to have fun. And I think getting on stage that first time is the hardest part. Definitely. So just, doing that and then just keep fucking doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
it's almost common sense.
Yeah.
Like, just to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
And you just develop skill, basically.
Yeah, and develop a presence as well. Yeah. One thing I do and have done for years, even though I don't listen to all of them, but I record every single set on my phone.
Yeah, I've heard
100%.
about that.
Yeah,
and it is crazy how now I'll be like, wait, 3 years ago, that old bit, I want to bring it back. What did I, like, you forget. And then I can scroll through and I name like, da-da-da-da-da, put the date, like in Michigan. And then like, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I love that bit. And like, now I'm a stronger comic, I'd like to think. Hopefully. And I can go back and listen to these old bits and bring them back. And my friends are like, dude, that's amazing. When'd you... I'm like, I wrote that years ago when I didn't have the balls to, like, tell it better. Or, like, so now it's really fun to have all those on my phone, actually. It's, so record those sets and don't go home crying because there's, like, nothing to cry about. You tried to get on stage and that's, like, seriously so hard. But, I don't know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the person who received Columbus Live Best Comedian last year.
Damn it.
So take this advice with no salt.
Yeah.
I think comedy's all about being nice and having fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, even if you're, I feel like if you're, I was joking with people, they're like, oh, like, why are you getting booked out of town so much? I'm like, I'm not that funny, but I'm a good hang. I'm not bad. Like to have a beer with afterwards. Like, I don't know. I'm just not shitty and mean.
I mean, some of my favorite comics in the city are people that, like, I'll watch their show, I'll go and talk to them afterward, and, like, we'll be able to just hang out for a minute. And, you know, some specific examples have been, like, Ty Moore, Tom Plute is super nice.
Yeah.
Dan Seabury is super cool.
I feel bad. I didn't bring him up. So, Dan Seabury is, like, he's one of the best boys. I love him so much. He's done a lot for me in terms of comedy, and he used to really be in Dayton. So now that they've moved here to Columbus, it's been lovely to have them. But always built me up and booked me on a lot of stuff. So they've kept me going. And so has Mary Santora from Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. I can't even believe she's my friend. But she's very supportive and has booked me on stuff I do not deserve to be on. So
I believe I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like pretty up there.
Right? Oh, yeah. She's great. And like very humble and hardworking and very vulnerable online and with her life, and I think that's really important.
It is.
Because I feel like a lot of comics are like, oh, it's all funny content all the time, and like it's like with Mary, she's like, actually, I'm going through sobriety. Like, here's why it's hard. Here's what sucks about it. Today I'm crying. Like, I don't have enough money today. Like, she'll like post screenshots of her bank statement. Like sometimes she's like, I have -$6. Venmo me. I'm gonna die. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. But it's not all that glorious, so...
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's shifted about the role of comedy since, like, I don't know, the 80s or whatever. Yeah. I was born in 2000. What can I say? But,
oh my God.
Like, the idea of, oh, okay, funny person, go up there, be funny, and then that's it. Now, there's so much more of a personal role that comedians take. And, you know, I listen to Joe Rogan sometimes. Yeah. And, you know, all of his friends, like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer and Ari Shaffir, fuck Ari, actually, but the other guys are super cool and, like, pretty open with how they feel in their shows as well. Yeah. Like, in their specials, you can...
Yeah.
And that seems to be a shift that has happened in the last few years, actually, so...
I really like the... emphasis, or at least that shift you're kind of saying in terms of like mental health and stuff. I'm not sure if you have HBO or heard of him, but Gary Gulman has a special that
sounds familiar.
Oh my God, it's an entire hour special about he's like a big huge dude that grew up like in the 70s and 80s, and he talks about like just being a big guy and everyone's like, you gotta do sports. He's like, you know how many concussions I got? He's like, my brain's fucked. He didn't do anything about concussions back in the day, and like he's just he's super vulnerable. He's sober. He talks about having mental breakdowns and being put in special care for those, and suicidal thoughts, and he literally lists off all the different anxiety and depression medications that he's on, that he's taken, how they affect you, how he moved back in with his mom in his 30s because he just lost his shit. And they even interview his mother in it, and she's like, look at these baby photos. He wasn't depressed. He's always smiling. Yeah. And he's like, I was I never wanted to be alive. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, how did you not know? But I think it's just a really important topic to brush on, and it's cool to see it on like Netflix and HBO, and more than just like fart jokes and I was drunk one time and ate a squirrel. It's like that's fucking. That's, bond as humans a little bit.
I think people need to hear that sometimes from comedians, especially because it's like you have like the emphasis on trying to make things funny, but then when you pair that with like relatability coming out of nowhere, where it's like, oh, this guy who can do this and talk about his struggles, or you can talk about her struggles, and I'm relating to her now. It gives you kind of like inspiration to be able to go do that and be vulnerable yourself.
Absolutely, in your daily life, absolutely. I think it's so important.
And also, another example of like how like the role of comedians now, like Dave Chappelle's latest special is almost like it's part comedy routine, part like community leader almost. Like kind of like people look to him for like opinions on things now, and like a famous comedian is now like has like an authority over what is maybe like a good opinion nowadays on things. Yeah. Which I think is important.
I love that. And I think laughter, when you laugh, you're in a really vulnerable position, right? Like you're just like naturally and like biologically you're like letting go of a lot of like fear. So while you're like giggling and then like somebody like Dave Chappelle or whoever is, just making these real life connections and saying these like really important things, it kind of breaks down like all your opinions and shit in the moment, so you're just a human being who's giggly, and then like you're learning or being told this information that you can take or leave. But I think it makes it easier for some people to kind of inhale this different ideals and perspectives in a more calm, comfortable way. But
I actually ran into him once.
No shit.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Were you in Yellow Springs?
Yes.
Cool.
We were in the coffee shop that he normally hangs out in.
Oh, the Spirited Goat. Maybe.
I think we were in Dino's.
Oh, okay.
But I have not been to Spirited Goat yet. I should go.
It's fine.
But
that's cool.
It was very cool.
Cool.
I think it was Aaron and I. Yeah. Zay Crypto normally co-hosts on the show, and we were hanging out in line to get coffee, and we look over to the right, and we're like, is that, and then...
What a badass.
He and I were just kind of like, just standing there freaking out a little bit, and I think he noticed, and he out loud goes, I don't know anybody in here, and then we see him stand up, walk outside with whoever he was with, we get our coffee, sit at the table he was at, drink our coffee, leave, we watch him go back in.
That's hilarious.
So, much respect, Dave. I understand we might have been a little, we weren't going to ask you for your autograph, but I just thought that was kind of funny.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of him,
I wonder if like just people around there in Yellow Springs just are so like used to seeing him that he's just like one other guy on the street.
Yeah,
and I think
awesome.
that's what he wants, is to just be able to be one other guy on the street. So
just like in his own neighborhood, chilling. Yeah, that's cool as hell.
Speaking of him, I watched a special last night. Do you know who Neil Brennan is?
Yes.
Yeah. His,
that's
the Three Mics.
Mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Dave Chappelle's writing partner on Chappelle's show. And
I never realized that.
Three Mics is like a prime example. It's blatant about being in that vulnerable role, because it's literally one-liners, emotional stuff, actual stand-up. And
I need to rewatch that because it was a really fascinating idea.
It's my favorite special.
Break it up like that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've watched it like 8 times now.
I love that.
But yeah, I think that's a prime example. I think people should be doing that more. But how can people find you and support you?
Right now, I'd say just kind of follow my Instagram. Why not? It's just my full name. I don't know why I put my middle name in there, but steal my identity while you're at it. It's Amber Marie Falter on Instagram. You can add me on Facebook. I let those people pile up in that inbox, though. It's like, this person's friend request. I'm like, ugh, it's too many. Too many old white dudes on boats. It's hard to sift through. So Instagram's probably best. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Do you have any last minute shout outs to make before we wrap up?
Let's see. I guess just follow the Columbus Freedom Fund. My friends are doing a lot of cool work.
I gave that $100.
A lot of hard work. Definitely them. And with Stand Up for Choice, we've done one online, so it's a quarterly show. Really blessed to know and work with Pat Deering. He finds all the organizations typically that we work with. Yeah. So it all started 4 years ago with Women Have Options Ohio, me trying to raise money for that. And reproductive justice very much overlaps with Black Lives Matter movement and so I think it's all really good stuff. So and Christine Horvath and Griffin Browning again. So we got to do one online show, and Christine books it, and Griffin makes all the graphics and made it look amazing. And I'm just really proud to be a part of it still. I know me and Pat founded it or whatever, but it's something totally different, and it would not be the same without them. So we're gonna do another one online probably soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice. Very cool. Super excited for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, both,
of course.
for
Thank
hanging
you.
out. Yeah.
Good time. Yeah.
This was great. Been doing jack shit. So.
Awesome. Yeah, same kind of. So this has been a nice, refreshing return. So thank you very much for being on this week. We'll be back as usual. Why am I looking up there? There's no video. Every Wednesday morning, as usual, and we skipped 2 weeks a little bit ago, but we will be consistent after all this. So, catch us next week. Thank you very much.